Welcome, folks. Today we're discussing a fascinating chapter from Amartya Sen's book, Identity and Violence, focusing on the limitations of using religious identity as the primary lens for understanding individuals and societies.
I'm intrigued. So, what's the core argument Sen presents in this chapter?
Sen essentially argues against reducing individuals to a single religious identity. He contends that people have multiple affiliations: political, social, cultural, professional, and that focusing solely on religion leads to a distorted understanding of their motivations and actions. He believes that this oversimplification is particularly problematic in the context of civilizational theories and the fight against terrorism.
I see. So he's saying that Huntington's Clash of Civilizations thesis, which often uses religious differences as a defining characteristic, is flawed.
Exactly. Sen points out that these theories overlook the heterogeneity within religious groups and the significant interrelations between civilizations. For instance, he mentions that India, often seen as a Hindu civilization, has a massive Muslim population, making it one of the largest Muslim countries in the world. Religious categories simply don't neatly align with national or civilizational boundaries.
That makes sense. But what about classifying people directly by their religious groupings? Wouldn't that be a more accurate approach?
Sen acknowledges that it's a neater classification, but he still argues against it. Even if you categorize people by religious affiliation, you're still making the mistake of seeing them in terms of only one identity. This overlooks all the other associations and loyalties that influence their behavior and self-understanding. It can be helpful in certain contexts, like scheduling religious holidays, but not as an overarching basis for social analysis.
Could you give me an example from the text that illustrates this point?
Certainly. Sen discusses the vast differences in social behavior among Muslims, even within the same country. He contrasts the practices of traditionalist rural women in Saudi Arabia with those of Muslim women in urban Turkey, where dress codes are often similar to European women. He also mentions the differences between socially active women in Bangladesh and more conservative women in the same country. These differences highlight how cultural and social factors, not just religious identity, shape people's lives.
Interesting. So, even within a single religion, there's a wide range of beliefs and practices. Does Sen provide any historical examples to support his argument?
Yes, he does. He recounts a debate between Ibn Battuta, a 14th century Muslim traveler, and Abu Muhammad Yandakan al-Musufi, another Muslim. Ibn Battuta was shocked by al-Musufi's tolerant views on the association of women with men, which he considered a violation of Islamic precepts. Sen emphasizes that their disagreement wasn't about religion itself, but about their personal choices and lifestyles.
That's a compelling example. What about the issue of religious tolerance? Does Sen address that?
Absolutely. He contrasts Emperor Aurangzeb, known for his intolerance towards non-Muslims, with his elder brother Dara Shikoh, who was a scholar of Hinduism and advocated for religious tolerance. He also mentions Emperor Akbar, their great-grandfather, who promoted open dialogue between different religions. Sen argues that these contrasting examples demonstrate that Muslims can hold vastly different views on tolerance without ceasing to be Muslim. The key is that being Muslim doesn't dictate every aspect of a person's beliefs or actions.
So the text suggests that focusing on religious identity can lead to a misunderstanding of complex historical and political situations?
Precisely. Sen highlights the long history of mutual respect between Muslims and Jews, citing the example of Maimonides, a Jewish philosopher who found refuge in the Arab world under Emperor Saladin. He also mentions the constructive influence of Jewish viziers in Muslim-ruled Spain. These examples challenge the notion of an inherent conflict between Islam and Judaism and demonstrate the importance of recognizing non-religious factors in shaping intergroup relations.
This is really insightful. How does Sen connect these ideas to contemporary politics, particularly the fight against terrorism?
Sen argues that the overemphasis on religious identity has been counterproductive in the fight against terrorism. He criticizes the attempts to recruit religion on one side by defining a true Muslim in terms of political and social beliefs. This approach, he says, strengthens the voice of religious authorities while downgrading the importance of non-religious institutions and movements. It also overlooks the fact that Muslims, like people of any faith, can hold diverse views on political and social issues,
So, by trying to define what a true Muslim is, we're actually reinforcing the idea that religious identity is the most important one.
Exactly. Sen believes that this approach magnifies religious differences at the expense of other identities, such as citizenship, which could have a more uniting role. He also points out that it can lead to a neglect of civil society and the important work that non-religious organizations are doing to promote peace and understanding.
That's a really important point. It seems like Sen is advocating for a more nuanced and multifaceted approach to understanding individuals and societies.
Yes, he is. He emphasizes the importance of recognizing the plural identities of people and their freedom to choose their priorities. He argues that this recognition is essential for promoting peace, resisting political polarization, and understanding the internal dynamics of countries often placed in a single religious box.
He mentions Daniel Pearl, the journalist who was tragically murdered. How does that relate to his argument?
Sen uses Pearl's story to illustrate the dangers of ignorance and confusion in fueling violence. He also discusses Judea Pearl's disappointment with a conference of Muslim scholars who refused to declare terrorists as apostates. Sen argues that while denouncing terrorism is important, it's unrealistic to expect religion to be recruited to fight terrorism by excommunicating terrorists. He reiterates that being a Muslim doesn't dictate one's political or social beliefs.
So what's the key takeaway from this chapter?
The key takeaway is that we must move beyond simplistic categorizations based on religious identity and recognize the richness and complexity of human identity. By acknowledging the multiple affiliations and loyalties that shape people's lives, we can foster greater understanding, promote peace, and resist the forces of division and violence.
That's a powerful message. It seems like this chapter offers a valuable framework for navigating the complexities of our increasingly interconnected world.
Indeed, it challenges us to look beyond religious labels and see individuals as multifaceted human beings with diverse concerns and priorities. Now, we'd love to hear from you, our audience. What are your thoughts on the role of religious identity in shaping individual and societal behavior? Do you agree with Sen's critique of civilizational theories and the overemphasis on religious identity? Share your ideas with us. Thank you for joining us today. We hope this discussion has been insightful. Until next time, goodbye.